Hi, I'm Melissa, your free range psychic. Today is Sunday, August 13th, 2023. And I just want to send prayers out to Hawaii. And what a tragedy. But I do pray for renewal and that the fires are all out and the healing begins. Just, it seems like the whole world is on fire these days, right? So today, I am going to do a guided reading on a question that's been burning in my mind for a while. And I thought it would be a distraction also to talk about Melania Trump. And so the question that has been on my mind is Melania a red sparrow? So a red sparrow is a Russian-trained honeypot or spy who uses their sexuality and their feminine wiles to entrap their target and gain information and also have influence on their lives in the service of Putin. And I researched this a little bit. I found out that there was an actual school for sparrows. It was called the Sparrow School. Red sparrows, of course, because Russia and communism, and red stands for that. And it existed, and it would have existed at a time when Putin was active in the KGB. And I believe it's still active today, although one of the articles I read was, it was an interview with a man who had written Red Sparrow, the movie that Jennifer Lawrence played in, and she became a red sparrow. She was apparently a ballet dancer. I never saw this movie. Now I'm going to have to see it. She was injured, and she ended up working as a spy in espionage for Russia. And I also read other articles that really thought she was, because of her connections, that her father was a member of the Communist Party. Like only 5% of something of Slovenians were members of the Communist Party, but he was, and he was a motorcycle and car salesman. And they think, and I promise you that I will include these links in the description below so you can read some of these articles, thought that he had the connection, and he was the one that brought his daughter into that life. Ostensibly, I guess she had been a model since the age of 5. Her sister designed children's clothes and also clothes from Melania. And Melania ended up eventually on the Milan Paris circuit, and somehow met Trump. That is the question, right? How did Melania meet Donald Trump? And they actually started having an affair, or were romantically involved, whilst Donald Trump, I guess, was going through his divorce with his second wife, Marla Maples. And then they become an item, and then miraculously she gets an Einstein visa. And apparently that visa has been given to other Putin agents. I found that out too, allegedly anyway. People who are so brilliant that, they deserve United States citizenship. And I'm sorry, Melania, this is all alleged and for entertainment purposes only, but I have never really seen that aspect of Melania in the years she was First Lady. And if she spoke, as it was claimed, 5 languages, I don't think English was really on the top of that list. Be best, right? And I wanted to mention this. She was born April 26, 1970, and she's 53 years old. And she and her parents, her father's Victor Naus, and her mother's Amelia Naus, and they live in, I'm not sure where they live. Where do they live? They live somewhere. She got a home for them, I don't know, either in New York or upstate, and she has a close relationship with them. So there is also this kind of linkage of Epstein, right? Because there are pictures of Melania with Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine and Trump and Ghislaine Maxwell, and that looks like a pretty chummy relationship there. And I think there's more chemistry between Epstein and Melania than there is between Melania and Trump. Trump seems to be kind of like out there. He thinks, there's like that's his hot chick, but it just looks, if you really look at that picture, and there's another one I saw too, kind of taken maybe, at the same time, same pose, just her eyes are more open, but yeah, you can see the chemistry there. So I often wonder if Jeffrey Epstein and Melania were a thing, maybe allegedly, that maybe she worked for him, or he did have, there were rumors of him scouting girls working with Russian agents, Russian modeling agents, but also, there's that whole backstory of all the compromat that he allegedly sold to people like Putin, and had cameras everywhere, right? And was a mover and a shaker behind the scenes for Putin. So, how much coincidence can there be with Melania, who's, from Slovenia, and her coming into Trump's life? I just, raises a lot of questions. And as I researched, obviously other people either outright stated that there was that connection or wondered about it. So I thought, well, I'll ask the guides. What do they have to say, What information are they going to give us? So I'm using the Tarot Marchetti Tarot from the Easy Tarot deck, easily found on Amazon. And also I'm using Messenger Oracle. I haven't used this Oracle deck for a while, by Ravon Falon, at the end of the reading. And then there is a musical interlude afterwards. Please stick around for that. Please like, share, subscribe. Please, I would really appreciate that if you do that for me. So let's get to it. Let's see what the cards have to say. Let's dish the dirt. Allegedly. So the subject card that the guides gave me that represents Melania is the Empress. You could say it's the Empress reversed, in a sense that it's using the feminine powers of the female, the goddess archetype, but using it perversely for reasons of betrayal and intrigue to harm our country, which also shares this card, the Empress, America, Statue of Liberty. And, she's using her female magnetism, her sexuality. And I read a name, like a nickname for this kind of work, which is called sexpionage. So that would be Melania here. And then I asked for clarification, and they gave me the Page of Swords, which is like the card of the spy. So, she's all that, boom, 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 or whatever. And yet, really behind this is that she's doing a service for Vladimir Putin, allegedly. And then above is the Lovers. But this is not Donald Trump and Melania. This is really Vladimir Putin and Melania lifting her up to, be First Lady of the United States. And in exchange, this is very transactional. She's in a really important position here, right? Being the handler of the President of the United States. And then the clarification card this is communication behind the scenes. So I asked my guides, well, did she directly communicate with Putin? And the guides said no. She had she had a handler of her own, I think, and an intermediary, and that was a private secretary, a female, who was very innocuous. Nobody would really question this person who's doing work for Melania, but that is the one who is, bringing the information back and forth, the back channel, right? And then in the past is the tower, and so the tower is Melania's own involvement in the attempted takeover of the coup, because of course you would need her being complicit too. I'm not accusing her of anything. I think she tried to stay in as much in the background as she could with this, but definitely in here, definitely, allegedly anyway, according to my guides, part of this. Well, I guess I just went back on my word here, because the guides are telling me no, she was a part of it. And she had to be, right? She was very much going to play this part, because let's think what would happen had this been, God forbid, the coup had been successful. She would have had to continue being on his arm, and she would have to be okay with it for whatever reason. Even if we might take the best explanations that she was scared and she was kind of being held hostage, but according to this reading, no, that's not the case. She is sent in to help facilitate this. Part of the whole illusion of the couple. I wanted to say happy couple, but we never really thought that, did we? But you need your first lady to be on your arm and to make it look like you've got your Jackie Kennedy or Betty Ford. That's who she said she wanted to try to emulate. And then below is the devil. So this is Donald Trump also, and Putin. This is who you're serving. This is what your or what Melania's inspiration is, or what fuels her, is this collaboration, I should say, with the intent of Vladimir Putin, who you're serving. You're really patriotic to him, to bring down the United States. So that is what's kind of the hidden motivation here. And also you could kind of call Melania a narcissist, because this is often the card of the narcissist too, because I don't care, do you? And whatever, Christmas. Who cares about Christmas? Yeah, that aspect of Melania. So in the future, the guides show me the Seven of Swords here. Melania walking away, having to leave things behind, taking as much as she can, but not being able to take everything. There's a need to get distance, a need to move away. And I believe this is because of all the cases, all the indictments, all the money that is going to be disappearing, assets, etc., and also her own reputation, because of all the scrutiny is happening now, and it's going to continue to happen regarding Trump. Whoa, can you imagine? There's more and more charges. The more they find out, we think there's a lot, but there's going to be there is going to be a laser focus that's going to maybe even upturn Melania Trump's connection with this and with that. The clarifying card, here it is, Queen of Wands. This is the sex pot, so to speak, sexpionage. This is the Red Sparrow, and that's a confirmation here. They're saying, yes, Melania is a Red Sparrow, not just was, but is a Red Sparrow, very much that she was groomed for that from a very young age and was successful, and here she is. Interestingly enough, the outcome card is the Three of Swords, and that's an emotional card that very much kind of stands for a heartbreak, depression. That could be like a divorce or some kind of dark night of the soul. And my guides say that it is depression that Melania is going to be going through, and not that I wish this for her this at all, but they say this is the future state of Melania because of all the loss of not being able to get everything and losing probably the majority of it, except for her infamy. But something is coming up for her, an emotional depression and emotional some difficulty here that she's going to have real problems with, and that is going to take some doing to move through when that hits her. And there may be things I think that are not, I can't see, are not being revealed that cause this, but I don't think it's a loss of a lover or even having to do with Baron. I just think this is probably having to do with now being caught and having failed and the consequences that come from that, because she has stuck by Donald Trump's side regardless of the affairs of the what's going on now, the cruelty that he's shown to her that we've seen outwardly. If you can remember, the various times when he's looked at her like she's dirt. He's been extremely cruel, not sitting, or when she chooses not to sit next to him or not to hold his hand, it's not because she just doesn't like him. It's probably because he's been extremely allegedly abusive to her. And Donald Trump is an abusive person. We have seen that. That's not something I have to say allegedly about. And I can't, and I'm not feeling sorry for her, but it must be very difficult to have to deal with that. And you kind of can see the ravages of it in her face. But there are things going on behind any marriage like that where there's those kind of challenges. But people stay together. Whatever is holding them together, the glue behind that marriage. You don't always know that, right? Oftentimes we don't, or we're surprised at what was really going on behind the scenes. And maybe it is divorce. Maybe I have heard rumors recently of that. But it takes an emotional toll on Melania. So that is my reading on whether Melania is a Red Sparrow or not. I'm really curious to know what you think, or if you have any other information. I feel like the relationship between her and Jeffrey Epstein is clouded in mystery. And then you get all those pictures on the internet, of her being a kind of X-rated model, and how is she able to become the first lady with that in her background? It's mind-blowing when, God forbid Michelle Obama would wear say the wrong thing or wear a dress somebody didn't like, but then you have Melania. Just unbelievable. I don't want to pass judgment on that kind of activity, but really, for First Lady in this country, and with this kind of mindset that the conservatives seem to have, how did she pass through all that? So many questions. Okay, let's shift here, and I'm going to read an oracle card for us from the Messenger Oracle deck. And this card is Time to Ground. time to ground. We all experience moments in our lives when we feel confused, unfocused, and surrounded by chaos and turmoil. These moments are often unavoidable, as are the lessons that these moments can impart. But how you respond to them is only a choice you can make. Take a deep breath and a moment to pause and reconnect with Gaia and nature. Seek the silence of the void within, while your spirit spirals downwards to anchor itself like an ancient tree in the cleansing embrace of the earth beneath you. Time to ground. Okay, everybody. I always remind people that I am still available for personal readings. I read out anything in past lives, anything in the present, including past and present in this life. I love to introduce you to your guardian angels. And also, I'm a medium. You can find my information in the description box below or at the end of the musical interlude. Please take care. My love and prayers to Hawaii and all my friends there. My love and prayers to all of you. You take care, be well, and I will be back next week, okay? Bye-bye. Bye.